on. We got a great guest tonight. We want to make sure you get good hearing of this young man. He's been a favorite of our store for a long time. First time here at the Last Chance Saloon.
You're good at kissing butts.
Can I borrow $5? No,
Sure.
we'll get to
kissing
Randy
or
in a minute.
kicking?
But yeah, we're excited to have Randy on tonight. But first of all, let's do what we normally do: is just make fun of stuff and they'll pass it down the line. Ooh, you're getting a microphone for Miss Velvet Presley. How you doing there, Rebecca?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. You're sitting next to the hillbilly. It's got to be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
She's buttering up on that one too. Rebecca's got some stuff she's going to talk about tonight. It sounds to me like she's got some Beatles trivia and information, so we can't wait for that part of the show. One part I can't wait for is to her extreme left. If you're looking at the radio or you're looking at the laptop, he's near the Alt-Delete buttons on the right-hand side of your screen there. The hillbilly heartthrob himself, Mr. Jason Adams. How you doing?
I am feeling absolutely beautiful today.
Oh, my God.
It's one thing to feel. It's the other thing to look.
Yeah, if he looked in the mirror today, he'd shoot himself.
Oh, man. I love it. Who was that? Billy Crystal doing the Fernando Lama thing. It's better to look good than to feel good.
Yeah.
And then next to Jason, we have our own Uncle Larry. We missed you last week, Larry. We're glad you're back tonight.
I know. Yeah, well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Larry had some important stuff he had to get taken care of, so I think he's running for president, and he's got my vote.
Yeah, right. So. Yeah, no.
You're that Trump guy everybody's been talking about.
Yeah. He took the wig off.
Yeah.
I know. Did you not like that? No, we're not even going to get it political. We're not going to even get it political.
If it was a wig, maybe you could loan it to Jason.
But he had that lady come up there and pulled on it and stuff. See, it's real.
Yeah, I know, really. Glued to the scalp.
Tight.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not, he's got all his hair. I mean, you just got to look close for it, that's all.
It's just on the inside.
Yeah.
That's why it tickles his brain a little bit.
There's only so many people the good Lord put hair on. The rest he gave brains.
Yeah.
To be follically challenged.
I'm getting more brains every day.
Well, Jason, why don't you introduce our guest? I'll let you do it this time. See how you do it every time.
Well, all right. We have a wonderful artist with us today. Now it's my turn to kiss butt. How you like that?
He is a wonderful artist.
This will be his second or third show with
Second
us.
time.
Second time.
And 2 or 3 fam jams. I know at least 2. Maybe 3.
Three fan jams.
3 fam jams.
Yes.
This guy is like senior. He's got those epaulets on his shoulders.
He's not quite that old yet.
Hash marks on the sleeves,
I'm getting there.
Yeah, he's got bars and stars on his arms. Yeah.
It's the one and only Mr. Randy Finchum.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thanks. I can feel the love even amongst each other there with everybody remarks. Hey, great to be back.
Well, we're so glad you're back. We'll let you kick off with a song, and then we'll kind of find out what's been going on in Randy's world over the last, since June. That was the last time I saw you. So play something sweet for us. What you got?
I'm going to play one that Steve Robertson cut, and Dave Gibson and I wrote it, and been a 2-time award winner in the Christian country genre. It's called Jesus Was a Rebel. 2,000 years ago, barefoot on a dirt road, a holy man walked this earth. Some called him a freak, some called him a fool. Far as I'm concerned, he was cool, and I believe that one day he's coming back. And he might come riding in on a soft-tail Harley, or a big white horse with a flaming mane. He was a carpenter man with a calloused hands, came to save the ragged and weak. He didn't wear a crown, so they struck him down, but he turned the other cheek. Oh, long hair didn't care if you were yellow, black, or white. Jesus was a rebel, and so am I. Been a lot of rebels since then, silver screen and music men, and I'm sure you'll recognize their name. John Wayne, James Dean, Willie Whelan, Springsteen, old Hank, Johnny Cash, and Elvis the King. Oh, but Jesus was the first to start a band. Yeah, his music and his book is outsold all of them. He was a carpenter man with a callous hands, came to save the ragged and weak. Didn't wear a crown, so they struck him down, but he turned the other cheek. Oh, long hair didn't care if you were yellow, black, or white. Jesus was a rebel, and so am I. Yes, so am I. If you ever been an outcast for standing your ground, and who you really are inside is the only thing that counts. You go toe to toe with the devil with a weapon of God's truth. Then you got a little Jesus Christ rebel in you too. He was a carpenter man with a calloused hands, came to save the ragged and weak. But they didn't believe he was born a king, so it built him to that tree. Oh, long-haired wasn't scared when it came his time. Jesus was a rebel. Oh, Jesus was a rebel. Jesus was a rebel, and so am I. Yes, sir, am I. When I get to heaven, me and him's gonna take a ride. Oh, we're gonna take a ride. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Now,
you started
before
that
you
song, I heard you mention something about awards.
Awards, yes. Yeah. It was number one. Actually, it was number one on a couple of different occasions. The Sun Country Countdown, which Fred Barker runs on WTVY down in Dothan, Alabama, 100-watt station down there. It was number one for 4 weeks there, on the chart for months. Then he named it Song of the Year when he awarded the Song of the Year back last December. And also from an award out of Memphis. The thing about Christian country, there's a lot of different awards that they offer, a few different awards that they offer there, you know, different factions and everything. The Mason Jar Awards out of Memphis, and Steve Robertson picked up. It was about 3 weeks ago, was named Song of the Year there, too. We've heard from people, gosh, from Maine to Taiwan, I think, about that song. And it was also number one on HLE radio for 2 months, and in the top 5 there for 9 months, and I think it was on the chart 13 months total there. So it was just amazing the response we got from that. I know when Steve recorded it a couple of years ago, that we were thinking that people are going to love it or hate it. There's going to be no middle ground there. I'm either going to get taught I'm going to hell or get people praising Jesus. And thank God it was the second one that people really liked it.
Now, you said you co-wrote that with David Gibson?
Dave Gibson, yeah, you know.
No, you do a lot of co-writing with David, don't you?
No, that's the only song him and I have ever written.
Really? I thought
yes.
you did. Okay. No, it's Charlie Allen that does a lot with David Gibson.
Yeah, that's Charlie that does it. You know, and I've co-written with Charlie, and I've never met him. So
really?
Through Stan Allen, we
well, hang on. Let me do. Well, I'm a big star there, Randy.
Well, we do have a song through Stan Allen that Stan and I was working on, and him and Charlie worked on. I've never met the guy, and heard a lot about him though.
Yeah, unique fella. He's been on our show once or twice, right, Larry? He's been on, did a couple of fam jams early on. So
Yep.
Charlie just is a guy that's just so doggone busy. He can't ever. He's been in here since we've had this place. He's been in here once. So yeah, he's a pretty busy guy. But I got to meet Dave Gibson through Charlie's. I remember that now. I thought you were the one that introduced me to him, but it was Charlie. It was Charlie, as he said.
Charlie did it.
I remember the day I wrote with Dave, and it was 4 years ago. You know, on Facebook, they got the year reminder, what you did at this time last year, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago, and on August 25th, I think. And I remember having so nervous I had a headache because this is a guy I'm a huge fan of. And I'd won that co-write through Marta sitting at the Smoking Hit Songwriter
Right,
contest.
down on the mountain, yep.
And I took Dave. I might have even talked about this on the last show, but I don't know.
We have a lot of new listeners, so
Yes,
that's why I say
awesome.
we're not. We may ask some of the same questions, and if people are listening that listened to you last time,
Well, I can tell the same stories with the best of them.
Yeah,
That's
there you
my
go.
wife back there.
There
She
you
can
go.
tell you. Every time we come down here, I say, hey, I done this over there, and I had a wreck right here. I got my first speeding ticket right here. I tell the same story every time we come here. But I was so nervous, I had a headache, and I took Dave 5 ideas in there because that's what I'd learned from Bob Delaposta. You take them 5 ideas, and I only had a 1-hour co-write. Well, I had a headache, and I went in there and had 5 ideas with Dave, and I only had 1 hour, basically, to prove myself. And I blew through those 5 ideas. Dave didn't like any of them. So
how did he say that? Did he go like, I don't know, or did he go, that
well,
sucks?
the surest thing you can hear when somebody don't like what you got, when they say, what else you got?
Yeah, that's a good clue.
Yeah. It's a nice way of saying, let's move on. And I pulled this idea out. Okay.
All right,
good.
thanks,
We're all-
Brian. We're good now.
that I'd written 7 years ago at the time, 11 years ago now, Jesus, the Original Rebel. It sounded similar but different, and he loved that, and we wrote it in 5 hours, and had to change the bridge. There was a different bridge on there about Jesus buying us a beer and everything, and I had to change it for a couple of reasons. Thomas Rhett came out with Beer with Jesus. When he came out with that, people started texting me, I just heard your song on the radio, and here I am, getting a whopping $5 in gas. I'm thinking, you didn't hear my song on the radio, because I don't have, I'm not seeing anything from it. And a couple other things. When Steve recorded it, he was playing right before that. He was playing in a duo called the Southern Boys, and they could not sing that in church. If I met him in a bar, he'd buy me a beer, and so we wrote 3 other, a couple other different bridges for a total of 3, and Steve chose that one, the one that we went with. And
Did you go to him for guidance?
who's that? God?
Jesus.
Did I? Oh yes. Oh yeah. Gosh, all the time. Yeah. Yes, sir. I did. I asked him on every day for guidance for everything I do. Is right down to probably write down to what should I have on the pizza I order. Well, Jamie orders the pizza though. But no, thank you for that. That's,
So since June, what's been going on? Anything new? You played the Fam Jam. Fam Jam 6 was in June of 2015.
Oh, it was a great time. Perfect weather. The
It
first
didn't rain
one,
on you.
no rain at all.
Yeah, that was good. Finally.
It was a perfect night. Got to see old friends, make new ones, and kind of flew by. That was a great week because I think it was the 4th, whatever I played. And then the next week, the Sammy Kershaw album came out where I got a cut on Sammy. And huge thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
y'all so much. Dream come true on that. And that was a highlight of my summer. Big time to hear that. Except when I picked up the CD, it says Randall Wayne Finchum on track number 8. I can't wait to waste a little time. And Randall Wayne is what Mom calls me when I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And Randall Wayne's what the judge used to pass my sentence on when I was in trouble. When I was,
Fond memories.
before I changed my ways. Yes.
Yeah, young and wild. Yeah.
But that not complaining a bit. I love it, and I was thrilled to death to have that cut. Got the Sammy cut. What else has been going on? Well, I've been writing less because we've been house hunting down here in Coffee County.
Right.
Been writing with a guy in Norway. Maybe he's listening now. Stephen Jacobson. He's third. We finished third on Norwegian Idol back in 2013, and he sent me a couple of melodies, and I put some words lyrics to the melodies, and he let me know at 3:30 this morning that he's recording them. They're being recorded in Nashville now. So
Awesome.
I'm guessing
Well,
he'll
Stephen, if you're
That's
listening,
great.
jump on our Facebook page, say hey to Randy, let him know you're listening.
Oh, he's got a suave voice. If we talk on Skype all the time, and he almost sounds like a Norwegian Barry White. If Barry White was white, doesn't he? That's my best analogy, Jamie. Wife out there, maybe she could put a little spin on that. But he sounds very eloquent when he talks, and he speaks very good English, and he's got a great voice. I love the way he sings that song. And just basically doing that. I'm trying to think what else that we've had going on. Gatlinburg with the Smoky Mountain Songwriter Festival. We played up there a couple of weeks ago. Cindy Lambka, lovely Cindy Lambka of Cindy Ann's Photography. Took some pictures up there. That was great. Got to meet Kim Williams, who wrote a lot of Garth hits, and stand around and talk about Sammy Kershaw, which was cool.
Oh, we had Kim on the show, right? That was Kim?
No, we haven't had Kim yet.
No, okay.
Matter of fact, Kim gave me the information how to get a hold of him, and I can't read his writing. So, Kim, if you're listening,
Okay.
Wow.
I need you to get a hold of me.
We got to see him in a lot of other, and Kim sang Three Wooden Crosses. Then is it Tom Douglas that sang Love Like Crazy? Got to see a lot. Got to perform there and see a lot of great songwriters. And here, Mark Naramore, who wrote "She Took the Moon Over Georgia," that was the highlight of my whole time there. He sang that song, and also that's what I love about Sunday. That was very cool. Got back from there. Well, right before that, I recorded vocals on a song with Steve Robertson that was going to be released as a single to Christian Country Radio. Song written by, I believe the guy's name's Tom Burris, who's no longer with us, but a great Christian country songwriter. And a song called "It's a God Thing." We're going to release that this fall.
That's cool.
Awesome.
But for the most part, the house hunting and the pending move is taking our time. But we got a lot of cool things in the works.
What do you got coming up?
We're coming up. It's starting the Writers' Night here, the Nashville Night on Tuesday night.
Yes.
And looking forward to that on September 15th.
Immediately following the Midnight Madness show.
Yes.
Yes.
It'd be the 1 o'clock Nashville Nights show.
Yeah.
1 a.m. Nashville Nights.
Live!
But it's not 1 a.m.
Hey.
Probably miss it.
Yeah, but but in 2 weeks, right? It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
from
2 weeks
tonight.
from tonight. We wanted to do it tonight, but we're going to be moving next week, so it'd be kind of a hard thing to
Right.
drop what I'm doing and get up here and do it. But I already got some people booked. I already got amongst them, and I can't remember the entire name, a lady from Canada that's going to be on doing kind of a mini tour around here. First night, a couple of people, Derek Batts from East Tennessee and Glenn Athan, who I've been riding with. They're going to come down. Derek's going to come from East Tennessee, Glenn from Nashville. But looking forward to that because I'm from here and we're coming back here, and I'm going to go back and forth between Nashville, and it's going to be really cool to get into the songwriting community and the music community here.
Yeah.
I love what you and Cynthia are doing at Family Music Center because we didn't have that growing up, and I would have loved to have had that. I envy the kids that are here now that get to be a part of that.
Well, we appreciate it.
Well, I'm looking forward to being a part of it in any way I can to help bring the songwriters of all ages and all genres together to kind of hang out and have fun and get it happening around here.
Well, watch what you ask for, since you're moving close, but now instead of being up in Nashville,
Yes.
we may be hollering at you more often.
That's right.
Please do.
Well, actually,
Please do.
I'm going to do a shameless plug at the moment.
Go ahead.
The 17th of this month, Randy Finchum and I and Heather and Stevens will be playing in Nashville
That's right.
on a writer's night there.
Yes.
And I do believe that Brian...
Is that with Daniel, with Doug Tolston?
Doug Tolston,
Doug
yes.
Tolston.
And
Daniel, sorry.
I do believe that WFMC is going to air it.
Oh,
I believe-
awesome.
I believe
right.
Brian said he was going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking me. I'm looking forward to that. I've been by Bobby's 1,000, maybe 1,000,000 times that I've never been in.
Well, Doug asked if we would like to host an hour of the show, and you were one of the first people that jumped in my head.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted somebody that was, good.
Yeah.
I don't know why I booked myself.
So you got Randy and Heather. So.
Yeah, I met Heather at Fam Jam, and
Yes.
nice. She can sing, and,
Yeah.
and my gosh,
Good voice. Good.
and-
I like her attitude.
Yeah,
when she
great
sings,
attitude,
too.
yes.
Yeah, she's got a good attitude.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's what the 17th you said.
17th, yes.
Okay. And Brian, we're good to go for that. If you're still live on the air, right? We're good to go projecting that out. What time does that start? 7 o'clock?
Yes. Our portion, I believe, is at 8.
It's I'm thinking it's
Okay.
8, yes.
Yeah.
But they want to hear the whole show.
Yeah, we're going to do the whole show, I
And
believe.
Doug was here last week, right?
Doug was
It
here last week, yep.
Great performer, great artist. Been there, done that a lot. So we're glad to kind of keep him in the fold. And we're getting Randy now moving down close by. So him and his family will be visiting hopefully a lot. We'll get to see them and keep us abreast of what's going on all the time. Why don't you bust into another song? It's what
Okay.
we'd like to hear.
All right.
And then we'll grind you some more.
I mentioned getting the Sammy Kershaw cut. That happened so fast, and it only took me 26 years of writing before it happened. But well, actually, it was 24 at the time. I remember. Excuse me. Let me get a drink here.
Sponsored by Diet Pepsi. They could ship me.
That's right. There is a camera here somewhere, aren't there? Okay. I was holding. Sorry about that. I gotta behave myself. Yeah, I remember it was about a year ago at this time. I was listening to Garth Brooks' new song, "People Loving People," on the radio, and I get a text from or a call from Chuck Oden, Oden's Publishing, then from John D'Agostino. And John's a co-writer on this song, and I didn't get a chance to get Chuck's call, but I got John's, and he said, "Sammy, we need the lyric sheets to I Can't Wait to Waste a Little Time," and I sent them to him when I got back home. That was like a Tuesday or something like that. By Friday, by Thursday, they said Sammy's interested in it. By Friday, they said he's going to cut it. And this was September 8th or something like that, and then by that Sunday, Friday he cut the tracks on it, and by Sunday he went down to Muscle Shoals and cut the vocals on it. So within a span of less than a week, I found Sammy's interested in this song, and then he cut this song, and it finally come out. It took about 9 months for it to come out. Thank you so much. And it finally come out, and it was awesome to hear him sing it. And a little background on writing this song, I wrote it with John D'Agostino of Demolition Music Publishing. But Perry Howard at BMI introduced me to John back in 2011. 2012, John's up on Facebook one night, said, "Who wants to write?" So I said, "I do." So we get on Skype and we write this song, just spur of the moment, unplanned co-write, and it sat around for a while and had another guy that was going to record it and didn't make his album. Then it made Sammy's. So lesson is that no matter how old a song is, and no matter if it's been passed on, it can still get recorded. Don't give up on it.
That's awesome.
And it's called "I Can't Wait to Waste a Little Time." 20 minutes till paradise, a mile high in the big blue sky. I can't wait to waste a little time. Touchdown, take it nice and slow. Dig my toes into Mexico. I can't wait to waste a little time. Sexy suntan senorita, shake some salt on my margarita. Whisper something I don't understand, but I just smile and say, muy bien. Tiki bar is 5 o'clock fiesta. Sunset calls for a short siesta. Then it's dancing to the steel drum through the night. And I can't wait to waste a little time. All right, they had a cool steel drum here, and I forgot my steel drum tonight, so I'm just going to go la la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. 7 days under a straw sombrero, living just like I'm a millionaire. Caribbean calling out to me, let my sails out catching island breeze. Feels so good going a little loco, loving life in a postcard photo, just laying low and riding the high tide. And I can't wait to waste, just can't wait to waste. I can't wait to waste a little time. 20 minutes till my shift is through. Napping on the job, got work to do. Man, I can't wait to waste a little time. I can't wait, just can't wait. I can't wait to waste a little time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Outstanding.
I've got the coughs tonight, so if anybody hears I'm not even smoking.
Did you get to meet Sammy?
No, I've talked to him on Twitter, or he's tweeted me back, and I've talked to him on Facebook.
Awesome.
But when he gets the Grammy, he'll get to meet him.
Yeah.
There you go.
I want to meet him. My gosh, what a cool thing. That's what I wrote for years and years, to hear somebody that I was a fan of to sing one of my songs. And I've been a huge fan of Sammy. He's got one that I took a road trip by myself back in 1995. Just me, rode down to Hilton Head, South Carolina, and then I rode back up, through the South Carolina, the eastern part of it. And the song I had playing was Sammy Southbound. Southbound breezes blowing. And I love that song. And I've been a fan ever since. The first song I've heard of him was Cadillac Style and Don't Go Near the Water. And to hear this voice sing one of my songs, gosh, I probably listened to it. If I got 9 cents per play from what I've listened to it, I'd be a millionaire right now. I've listened to that song over and over, and it never gets old. And praise the Lord for it, because where I was 6 years ago to now, to actually have Sammy freaking Kershaw sing one of my songs, I'm honored big time.
Well, let's back up and find out more about Randy himself. Again, we've had a lot of new listeners. Fam Jam brought out a lot of people out of the woodwork. We had people that haven't turned into the radio station before.
Yeah.
Actually, we had Moscow Russia tuned in, was listening to us. And I said, hey, we're friends now, so just relax.
That's it.
And they put their missiles away, and we put ours away, and we lived happily ever after.
There we go.
So
I think Putin's looking for you.
Now, boys, put your missiles away.
yeah,
Gosh, that doesn't sound right, does it?
boys. So, so we got a group of listeners. So,
Awesome.
for you that have been following Randy, and you're going to hear some redundancy, we're sorry. But for the new listeners, where did you come from? You said
I was born in Nashville, and when I was born, we moved around for the first few years of my life. Beaufort, South Carolina, Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, which is my first memories of life. And I had to be about 3 or 4. Then about 3 or 4 years old, we moved back up. We moved here to Coffee County. My dad's from Tullahoma. We lived on Roddy Creek Road right outside of Tullahoma. Mm-hmm. And, gosh, that area has grown up over there before you go down to where the dam is in Normandy.
Normandy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's close out there by Shoveville.
See, Jamie, my wife laughs at how I say Normandy. I say it's the way we say it down here. But I am from Manchester because that's where I grew up.
Right.
I mean, from 3 years old on is where I lived at until I moved to Nashville after high school. So I grew up here. I cut my teeth on music here. I was first time I ever wanted to play music was when I was probably 13. I didn't play till much later because I was a sports freak too. But Miami Vice Episode 1, Crockett and Tubbs are rushing to get to the Calderons, I believe, and you see the camera view of the tire touching the street, and they're playing. Yeah. And then you hear, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, Phil Collins.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever wanted to play music. It was the first inkling I had of wanting to play. Probably 3 years after that, after I got into high school, I got into the hair bands.
The hair band.
Yes, the hair bands, the Bon Jovi and Poison.
Okay, those are your two favorites?
Amongst the hair bands, yes,
Yeah.
but I love them. I love Cinderella. The love
Tesla, I'm guessing.
Tesla. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured you're a Tesla guy.
Woo. Do I just have that look, right? You know,
No,
speaking
just because of their vocals. I think they
yeah.
got great vocals, and you're a vocal guy, so
Well,
I
thank
think you would appreciate them.
thank you so much.
So, yeah. I'm a little older than that. I go back to, like, I think the prehistoric bands, you know. They had
gosh.
scales
Alley Oop.
and- yeah, Alley Oop. I love
That was my era.
what was the guy, the Trogs?
Now,
you know,
Larry,
Trogs, yeah.
I thought you would be a Tesla guy too. Now, dang it, come on.
Yeah, I like Tesla.
A lot, you know, but since then, you know, this musical journey's been an evolving thing where I've discovered more and more and more, and I've heard of everything. You know, when I was growing up. Back to the hair bands, though. How did I get to acoustic guitar? I used to play music with Lance Poole and Mike Bundy, who lived around here. Lance still does. I think Mike's in Texas. We never could keep a band together, you know. And I was a bass player, so playing bass at home with my Leonard Skinner Gold and Platinum CD to learn how to play didn't get me much anywhere. So I saw John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora playing acoustic guitars on MTV Unplugged. So I thought, well, I'm going to play. I can play these songs and sing them on my own, you know, in the garage, which is all we did in the garage, and that was cool. So I started playing acoustic guitar. Played in bar bands, still with bass around here for years in the Franklin County, Coffee County area, and wrote my first song at age 19, right before I moved to Nashville, you know, because we moved up there for Mom and Dad's work reasons. And there's a song about my dog, so it had to be country.
Had to be country.
But around that time, I fell in love with country music when I heard Help Me Hold On to What We Had, Travis Tritt. That's the one that got me noticing country music. I would say I started to like country music then. Then another album somebody loaned me maybe a year or so later, and Jason had a song off that playing tonight, Garth Brooks' Rope in the Wind. And I heard in Lonesome Dove. Then I fell in love with it, you know. It's almost like, you know, a girl. One song got me interested in girls, but the second song was Garth had me fall in love with girls, you know. Girl.
Right.
One girl.
one girl, yes. Now, the songwriter for Lonesome Dove, she was on our show.
Yes, Cindy.
He was telling me.
Cindy,
He told
yeah,
me.
yeah, she
I
was
love
on the
that
show.
song.
Yeah. That was pretty cool to have her on there. And she just talking about Garth like, he was just Garth back then. Was he ever just Garth? I don't even think he was Garth when he was born. He came out and they went, it's Garth Brooks. I think is what happened.
Smoke-filled the hair.
Yeah. He
Spotlight.
comes out with a cowboy hat and that little striped shirt he had on, you know. And the Lord said, he shall be called Garth. It shall be good. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that was the song. That was the one that got me into country music. That song right there. I'd love to meet her.
I'll set that up for you.
Oh, please, please. I love it.
My first country song that I remember was Ring of Fire with Johnny Cash.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw him do that when I was little, to the point where little Jimmy Dickens opened up for him. I was so young, I could have cared less being there. I don't remember seeing little Jimmy Dickens, even though I was in the same room with him. Johnny Cash was there. Yeah, I was like 7, or probably the same height. But, sorry
You
to the
don't know
Dickens
how
family.
true you are.
Sorry to the Dickens family, but sorry. But so that night they had Johnny Cash, had the Tennessee Three, had the Carter family, and I remember none of them except for Johnny singing "Ring of Fire."
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the horns going off, and I just remember Johnny in the center with a big spotlight coming down on him. So one song was all I remember Johnny Cash singing, but it's "Ring of Fire." That was my first country song I remember ever hearing.
Man, you saw Johnny Cash sing live. You know, that
Yeah.
is, wow.
And didn't appreciate it until I got older.
Till later on.
And went, wow, I saw Johnny Cash. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it was pretty cool. But that was my first recollection.
I can't remember the
of
first country song I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you grew up country, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I didn't listen to rock and roll until I hit the age of 13. Before that, was all country.
See, my mom's from down here, so we grew up in Wisconsin listening to Porter Wagoner and Dolly and Furlan and Hank Snow and all the old classic countries. But I can't ever remember hearing them until I heard Johnny sing, and then I started hearing music. But it was when the Beatles came on TV, then I went like, Oh, there's something to this music thing I like, and we're going to have Miss Velvet Presley talk a little more about that here in a minute, about the Beatles. But
I feel shallow when you tell stuff like that about a group like the Beatles. You say, when the Beatles, I saw them on TV, it grabbed me. Here I am. When Crockett and Tubbs, I heard Phil Collins.
I heard Phil Collins. Yeah. All right.
But gosh, I love the Beatles.
If you really want to feel bad, Uncle Larry's wife saw the Beatles in concert.
Yeah.
The entire
Wow.
four
Up in
saw them
Massachusetts.
in concert.
South
And rubbed that
Downs.
into me.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now that talks about the story behind every song that was written by them.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yes, and
I got
so,
that same book.
My brother got it for me, so if anybody wants to borrow it when I'm done, I'll gladly.
I've got it too, and none of you can have it.
I've got a real quick announcement.
Go ahead.
I just got a text message a few moments ago. The
Yeah.
artist we have on our show in 2 weeks just became a grandfather.
All right.
All right.
Mr. Shannon Cornelius.
Oh, really?
All right, yes, congratulations.
Cool.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Cornelius.
That gives me a great godniece.
Really? A great god niece. I don't even know how that works.
I don't either.
I think you just made that up.
Yeah.
I may have.
Well, let's have Randy do
Probably did.
another song, and then we'll have Miss Rebecca Presley do her little Beatles thing there, and then we'll get back to grilling Randy some more.
Yeah, I'm going to try one that I wrote with Tony Day and Kent Maxton. And Kent and Garth wrote, From Where I'm Sitting, I Can See Where I Stand, which was a Gary Allen hit. And I think Kent may be listening tonight. And he does a great, cool lick in this, and I wish he's here to play it with me. It might sound a little empty without me, but sent this to Garth last year, Kent. And when Garth sent this song back, he said something I'll never forget. It says, I like that saying, the only difference, or the greatest difference, or the truest difference we make in life, or what was it, Jamie? I'll get this. It's the difference we make in others. That I'm sorry? Okay, I thought you said something. But he said that the greatest difference we can make in life is the difference we make in others. And it sounds like what Garth would say. And even having an email from freaking Garth Brooks was cool.
That's
And he didn't cut this. I wish he would have. But to have him just know that he heard it was great. Now, wrote it with Tony Day. Kent and I did. And Tony was my first lady that was ever a published songwriter who would write with me, right about a month before I wrote with Dave Gibson. And she gave me a chance, and we wrote a lot of songs. I got my first songs published through her. Tony had cuts by Conway and Loretta. I'm loving what your loving does to me. Tony, sweet older lady. Well, gosh, she could write some sultry lyrics. She had an Alan Jackson song called I Don't Need the Booze to Get a Buzz On, and at her funeral a few months back, it's only 3 months ago, Friday, I think, or Thursday when she passed away, the guy who was doing the funeral read these lyrics to the song, and everybody was laughing. Not the song I'm going to sing, but the Alan Jackson song. And it was so sultry, you could tell that, hey, she was young once. She might have been in her 70s now, but she's young once, and she done what young people that we all did when we was young, or she thought the way we did. But Tony and Kent, Tony Day, Kent Maxton, and I wrote this song, and it's called "What's a Dollar Worth." I think I may be almost over the calls. And I'm going to send this out to Tony tonight. She lost her husband about 7 months before she died. They were married 61 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she never was the same without him. So I know she's up there in heaven hanging out with Conway and hanging out with Mr. James, her husband. And I hope she's here listening to this, and I hear her now say, "Take it from the top, Randy." That's what she would say. Just got back from saying goodbye to my old high school friend. We all laughed, we all cried, telling stories about him. He didn't have a nickel to his name, but money never was his thing. Left this world and said you can't keep the change, because there's only so many times we go around the sun. So kick off your sandals and have a little fun. Live it up, let the good times roll. Take life as it goes. Spend summer nights smoking ribs, making new memories with old friends. 'Cause in the end, and it ain't spent. What's a dollar worth? You never see a U-Haul trailer on the back of a hearse. He didn't trade what he had for the fancy things in life. Well, I worked for my mansion, he lived in a double wide. For what I got, I paid the cost, but my friend really had it all. He on more than I ever bought. There's only so many times we go around the sun, so kick off your sandals and have a little fun. Live it up, let the good times roll. Take life as it goes. Spend summer nights smoking ribs, making new memories with old friends. 'Cause in the end, if it ain't spent, what's a dollar worth? You never see a U-Haul trailer on the back of a hearse. So I drank a toast to what matters most. He helped me see the light. It's not what you take with you, it's what you leave behind. Here's to you, Tony Day. There's only so many times we go around the sun, so kick off your sandals and have a little fun. Live it up, let the good times roll. Take life as it goes. Spend summer nights smoking ribs, making new memories with old friends. 'Cause in the end, if it ain't spent, what's a dollar worth? You never see a U-Haul trailer on the back of a hearse. Now you want on the back of a hearse. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a great line. What a great line. When you hear it, you can't take it with you. He just summed that right up, just in a good visual, didn't he? That was a great line.
Ken had that line, and gosh, you know, talking about the Thomas Rhett song, "And Jesus Was a Rebel," right around the time we wrote that, Kristen Bush from Sugarland comes out with Trailer Hitch.
Huh.
Dang him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a Sugarland fan, but
Well, let's pass it over to Miss Velvet Presley.
Hello, darling.
Velvet Presley. I love that.
Now, she's going to be doing some trivia stuff, some did you know kind of things. So if she has one out there, Randy, if you know the answer, just jump right in. See if we can.
I'm ready. I'm
Actually,
ready.
I got a little bit of a theme going here.
Okay.
But I am going to start off, because I am born in San Francisco, I wanted to just let everybody know that their last performance was in 1966 at Candlestick Park. in
Candlestick Park.
San
It's
Francisco.
the Beatles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about the Beatles.
All about the Beatles.
All about
All the Beatles, all day, all night, nothing but the Beatles. Hey, Sunny 72, check that traffic report. Sorry.
At that time, I was on my way over to the Philippines, to Japan, to Vietnam.
Yeah.
I was 4.
You weren't having quite as good a time as the Beatles were.
No.
No, you weren't. Rub it in.
Larry, my dad was in Vietnam 66, 67, so, you know, around the same time.
And since we're talking about 1966, back in March of 1966, John Lennon controversially remarked that Christianity was in decline and that the Beatles had become more popular than Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bad move. Bad move. Sold a ton of records.
Never a good
though.
move, yeah.
They sold a ton of records so people can break them.
Right?
Why don't you just...
A lot of...
I'm going to try that marketing strategy. Sell a bunch of records so people can break them.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
Jason, what can we do to make everybody mad at us right now?
Don't do that, Randy.
All Jason has to do is talk.
You're going to ruin my image of you in my brain.
No.
Remember when they chewed him out over that, and John came on TV and said, "Hey, I wasn't trying to say I was better than Jesus. That we're better than Jesus at all. You know, I'm just saying popularity. We're as big as he is right now. I'm not saying we're better than he is. You guys took it all wrong. He was eating crow bad.
He could not get that foot out of his mouth.
Oh, he could not.
Man.
So Strawberry Fields was a Salvation Army children's home in Liverpool. And
Let me take you down.
John Lennon had remembered that from his childhood. And the song Strawberry Fields Forever in 1967 came after one of the most difficult periods of the Beatles' career, including the More Famous Than Jesus controversy. So anyway, the staying in there, at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever, John Lennon appears to be mumbling something that sounds like "I buried Paul," which fueled a Paul is dead rumor. He's actually saying cranberry sauce.
They were close.
Cranberry sauce.
And they ran with that Paul is dead thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, ran with that. You look at the Abbey Road album, there's symbolism all over that album cover. Sgt. Pepper's album cover, the Magical Mystery Tour album, all was Paul is dead. Paul is dead. This is a replacement. This is Paul's twin brother. He didn't have a twin brother, but somewhere along the line he grew a twin brother. And I love it when they were on Saturday Night Live and Chris Farley was talking to Paul McCartney. And Chris was doing that little interview thing that he's always kind of like a little bumbling idiot thing. And he goes, Paul, you remember when you were with the Beatles? And Paul goes, yeah. He goes, remember that thing when you were dead? And Paul's like nodding, yeah. He goes, you weren't really dead. That was the hoax, right? And yeah, Paul goes, yeah, no, I wasn't really dead. So, yeah.
Wow.
He's right there. So it was just a beautiful thing.
So you had that imposter down at Bonnaroo, right?
Yes, yeah.
so you got
All
to
I'm going to
see-
tell you, that was the best concert from an imposter I ever saw in my life.
Wow.
Paul played here 2 years ago in Manchester at the Bonnaroo, and I'm telling you, the best concert ever that I've ever saw in my life.
And isn't that a wild thing? Paul McCartney played
In Manchester.
in the field off of Memphis Highway in Manchester. Yeah.
5 minutes from this door.
Wow.
5 minutes. It's amazing. But
Yeah. Hey, thank you, sir.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
so yeah, it's amazing. Paul McCartney was right down the road, and of course we had Elton John. Well, last year, 2 years ago.
Yes, I said I would
Last year.
never go to Bonnaroo, ever. And then I heard that Elton John was going to be there. So I sold lemonade so that I
did
could
you?
be there.
You get
Oh,
to be
yeah.
there? Yeah. It's just cool. When you start talking about the Beatles, you got me hook, line, and sinker. I love the
man.
Beatles. I just think, whether you like the Beatles or not, the Beatles are not for everybody. Unfortunately, like 3% of the world it feels that way, but the rest, is all about the
3% of the
Beatles.
world is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. How dare them?
Where would so many genres of music be without the Beatles?
And all the artists involved.
Yes.
Different musicians.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl, from the Foo Fighters. You think of the Foo Fighters, and you're thinking Nirvana. He came from Nirvana
Oh,
originally,
yes.
then
Yeah,
the
I
Foo
love
Fighters. He said, I got inspired by watching Ringo Starr on TV one night. And I went, that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Neil Peart Neil Peart from Rush. You think, does Rush sound anything like, does Neil play anything like Ringo Starr? So I saw Neil, Rush. I lied to you. Let's back up. Neil from Rush said, I saw Ringo Starr on the Ed Sullivan Show and went, that's what I got to do.
Wow.
And it's the same thing I did, only Neil just took a little better career path than I did. I'm sitting here in Manchester talking about Neil taking a better career path.
Hey,
than
you've
I did.
done well though, man. It's just amazing how the music. You never know what the path of each other's path. What we can say to as the Beatles and as somebody has influenced us. Maybe we can say something to that next person. Yep. I got a friend named James Ross, passed away 10 years ago. He's twice my age, but he was a songwriting mentor, and we'd argue. He's from Chicago. He liked to argue, and he would tell me if I took him some songs, he'd say that sucks, and he turned out he was telling me to do better. But translation to relate it to the Beatles story, we can be influences too on whatever scale God puts us on. That's the
Right.
beauty of all of this,
Yep. It's awesome. I had a question in mind. I totally went blank. We were talking about that.
I hate when it
I'm
happens.
sorry.
That's
Yeah.
called old age, Randy. That's nothing but
I thought it was just you looking at Jason.
kind of startled me.
I'll look at Jason, then I forget everything else but is in the room but you.
Yeah.
The hillbilly heartthrob.
I looked directly at it and kind of heart just skipped the third beat or something there. No offense, Jason.
I have that
Wasn't-
affected
wasn't-
all kinds of people.
Although I know on Chippendale's night here,
Oh.
you made money.
Yeah.
I heard about
Yes,
that.
we got Chippendale.
I
ladies
heard
in the
about
house.
that.
There you are.
Yeah, girls' night out.
Yes, I remember them. Yeah, they stayed late.
He's got a following already. You got to
kept-
follow
they
him.
kept telling me,
Here's
"You
the
need to
man.
Ran around and said last song, and she said last round I got one, and no on the last
She was ready to stick around one more time.
That was scary, you know. I mean, I walked in the place
They
and
kept telling me, you need to get on stage. And I thought, no.
Yeah.
A new
walked in the
career
place,
path
they
has
put
been born.
dollar bills down my shirt. You know, it's-
All I know is it looked like the ladies had fun, and that's what the most important part. We got 3 of them right here behind us right now, so I'm glad. That's good. I'm glad they had a good time. Well, Randy, why don't you bust into another song, and then we'll get grilling on you some more, find out a little bit about what you've done and where you're at.
Let's do it. Right after Steve Robertson released Jesus Was a Rebel, he was gearing up to release a second single. He was still working on his album, and I was very happy to hear that he wanted to release this one. And he released it to Christian Country Radio, and it was kind of surprised me because it can be Christian country song, and it really was. It's just about thanking God for the woman and the people in your life that put up with us. When we don't do them right all the time. I'm glad he released this. It was number 1 on Sun Country Countdown for 2 weeks. It's called Letting Angels Down Easy. And I gotta pop my knuckles. I'm sorry. She loves me despite the hell I put her through. Seems to think I hung the moon. I don't know why she stays. By God's grace, no other way I can explain why the love she gives to me seems to never fade. Can't stand to see her tears fall down. Her broken wings beg to set us sound, but her halo still shines bright in spite of me. And they fall hard because they have the biggest hearts, mending what we tear apart every time we do them wrong. They keep hanging on 'cause they think there's good in us that we can't see. I've tried everything, and believe me, there's no way of letting angels down easy. Heaven sent that woman treats me like a king, always doing everything I should do on my own. She deserves a mansion on a street of gold, but a little house on an old dirt road she's happy to call home. Well, I've worn her down, I've stretched her faith. I'm not sure how much more she can take. I'm praying that she don't give up on me. They fall hard because they have the biggest hearts, mending what we tear apart every time we do them wrong. Keep hanging on 'cause they think there's good in us that we can't see. I've tried everything, and believe me, there's no way of letting angels down easy. Every time we do them wrong, letting angels down easy. Letting angels down easy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chuck Oden wrote that with me. I want to, in case Chuck's listening, we thank you.
Gorgeous song.
That is absolutely a wonderful song. I love the lyrics in that. Love it.
Steve sang the heck out of it. He did. He came up and stayed with me last year when he recorded that. Stayed with us, and he said, "I'm going to do it kind of like a hairband ballad, if you don't mind, like a Bon Jovi." And he did. This sounds it's still country, but it's still.
Now, what album's that on?
It's on his album called I'm drawing a blank. The Getaway. And the one with Jesus Was a Rebel, he came out with it last year.
Okay.
And,
So it's on the same album?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That one. And we had another number one, Steve and I, just last month, I think, called Old Sinner. I don't have it worked up, or I would play it, but yeah. So Steve and I have done really, really good together, and that he's quite a blessing. Steve Robertson, we wrote a song. We got a request from an artist we know a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, that they wanted a duet that was really soulful, and we wrote one. And they like it, so they're going to be hopefully recording it. I know they're going to send us a tape of it, or a work tape of it.
So estimate how many cuts do you think you have altogether?
I was thinking about that this morning. 28 maybe.
28?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people don't even have one.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's hard to get one, much less 28.
Well, he's been really good. For those of you who know me out there, they know this story. But for those who don't, if you don't mind, I was on crack cocaine for a good few years there, and lost everything in my life. And next week, the 12th, will be my 6th year being freed from that. I don't say day to day. I say I'm freed. I am freed from it. God freed me from it 6 years ago. But in the meantime, before that, I lost everything, every freaking thing I had, and I had to start completely over. And I was led to go to school at Nashville State once I finally got out of the drugs, and when I was, God, where do you want me to go? Because I was doing a program for the DVC ministry, which saved my life, and Todd Gibson and everybody up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I still work with that ministry. And I didn't know really what to do, and I was led to go back to school, and I went to Nashville State and took the music technology program, and it's just been a dream come true that God has really not only forgave me for all the horrible stuff I did. I wasn't a good person on drinking and drugs. I really wasn't. And one of the things when we're coming out of that, which is so hard for a lot of people to quit, because you have to face with a sober mind and sober eyes what you did. And not only has God forgiven me for that, and not only, and I'm now forgiven myself, he's really, I've really had some dream come true moments here. I'm not floating in money, but it's still.
I was going to ask you for a loan. We'll have to wait next year.
But it's been an amazing ride, and I'm looking forward to just seeing where it leads to. It really does. And I love Christian country radio. I'm excited about our single coming out there to see how. I've never been on the radio on voice before. Just bass player and just songwriter.
Well, again, and we bring it up from time to time. There are just certain artists that we see here at the radio station that just works harder. They put in the extra time, the extra effort. They play the extra gigs. They sit the extra late nights working with other writers or going to see other writers perform. And there's a handful, and we bring them out every time, or Rachel Lipsky, Daryl Dasher, yourself.
Thank you.
Just are the ones, and Jordan Ombach is another one that's hitting the streets pretty hard.
Jordan's he works hard at this.
And Travis Boland is out there trying to hit it hard. Those are the ones that are putting in the yeoman's effort, so to speak. And we just wish the best for all of them. It's a hard business to get into, but that makes it even more cool when you go, I have 28 cuts.
Yeah,
Not bragging, just happen to have 28 cuts.
That's something. I was in Nashville Sunday for a writer's night, and I realized when I got on stage that I was the only one in the room that the only cuts I had were by myself.
That's cuts, though.
These guys had cuts with Alabama. They had cuts with Tim McGraw and Kenny Rogers. And here I am going, hey, I wrote for myself.
Hey, but you know,
Yes, I was.
But you haven't quit. You're still at it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You've had achievements along the way,
Yes.
Yes.
and you can't help it if you're ugly.
I understand. I understand. That's where I got lucky. The good Lord gave me a little bit of a voice because if I had to rely on my looks, I'd never have a
Be in
girlfriend.
trouble.
But you know, Jason, what a blessing that we have to be so close to Nashville and in Nashville
Yeah.
to hang around that, to soak it up. You know, y'all were talking about Tommy Barnes on last week's show.
I love Tommy
I mean,
Barnes.
just soaking it up with Tommy and Gerald Smith, you know, who just, you know, I'm glad he's my father-in-law, but even before that, I soaked it up, you know. Everybody that we get to see around here that has this stuff and, you know, had the big songs and the cuts and everything. What a blessing, because there's songwriters all over the world that love to be able to be such close proximity
Right.
to the greatness that we get to see all the time, every day, and get to learn from. Because I know I'm watching them all the time, learning them.
One
learning
thing
from
that
them.
I am blessed with is I have been able to make the connections and make, for some reason, they like me.
Yeah.
So most of them are talking. Let's write together. Even yourself, which
Yes.
I'm blessed with that. And
Oh,
I'm
shoot,
hoping-
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
What-
forward to it.
What? What did I do?
I had every platform to jump off onto that, and I just left it alone. Left it alone. I thought, no,
We do love him. You know, he's ours.
He's
We'll
like the
stop
little
with him.
run to the letter. You just
There
can't
you
help
go.
but like him,
Hey.
you know?
Yeah.
Going,
Even
what do we
amongst
do?
I was gone for a year, and you guys couldn't wait to get me back.
They were saving up this stuff. for
That's
you to
right.
get back.
That's right.
We had too
You
much
know.
good material
You know,
to
Randy.
waste. We got to get him back.
It's all written down somewhere to be, you know. Oh, I can use that on Jason when he gets back. Where's my little book here?
I'll tell you, music has given us the opportunity in this area to meet people such as you, Randy, and become friends over the years and enjoy each other's music. You know, I love listening to your songs and stuff, and even Jason, you know.
Oh, yeah. I
And
love it.
stuff, and we've met so many different people. I always wondered why the Lord chose me to come to this place, you know, and everything, but
Yeah.
it's home right now.
And some of the greatest times I've had on this is when we had our Wednesday night gig. Y'all came up, you know. Dan McGinnis, I know we did it at the Row, but I really, really loved it at Dan McGinnis when we were all out on the patio and get to hear
Yeah, that
each
was
other's
blast.
songs,
On
hop
Music
from
Row.
table to table and group to group and talk to each other and just see each other every week or two, you know. That's what the music, there's not, you know, unless you get the big, huge cuts, there's little or no money in the songwriting thing now, except for opening up other doors. But it's still one of the cool things, aside from you know, is to the friendships and the bonding that comes from it. That's
Right.
you know, I know a lot of people say that, but dang it, you know, I mean that because you know, Jamie and our whole life is this songwriting thing,
Right.
and the music and people that we know and love, and without it, I don't know where I'd be, and I don't know what my life would be. I don't even want to think about it because even sitting up here tonight, what a great honor. Because I was telling Jamie out in the parking lot, I played so many years, and I didn't seem to, there was no attention or whatever, and it was so many times I wanted to quit, but I couldn't. And everybody knows that. Y'all know.
Yeah.
You can't quit. You quit for a little bit, and then it comes right back,
Yeah.
And
Can't leave
pulls
it
you back.
alone.
And what a blessing all of this is.
Well, one thing I've noticed is we're all becoming kind of like a family.
Yes.
We all share the same dreams, share the same wants. And granted, we're out there trying to push our stuff, but yet we're still trying to back our friends that
Yes.
are there doing the same things.
Yeah.
Well, it becomes a familyhood, a brotherhood. I've said for years, musicians bond with other musicians. There's good and bad in every group anyways, no matter what you're into. But coming to Nashville, and you were the one that introduced me to Tommy Barnes.
Yes,
You
I
introduced me
remember.
to Gerald Smith.
Yeah.
And what was funny is you were telling me about, oh, man, this guy's written for Tim McGraw, and he's got hits and all this stuff. and you introduced me at Dan McGinnis, and you said, Mark, this is Tommy Barnes. And Tommy walks up and goes, hey, you're a friend of mine on Facebook. Like, am I?
Do y'all debate each other? Or?
Wait, what's that?
No, I heard last week's show. You're basically like me when it comes to Tommy. It's like, yeah, Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he knows so much intricate parts of that, I can't add anything more to what he said either.
I know. I just
Be
go
like, yeah, man.
Like, go, Tommy. You got my vote. Thanks. Again, we can't go political, but if Tommy ran for president, I'd vote for Tommy.
Hey.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Tommy's man. He's
Oh, yeah.
He's just a cool guy, very talented man. I appreciate you introducing him to me. And again, Gerald Smith, I know that's your father-in-law and your wife's, here, that's her dad. Just real cool. And just real quick, Gerald was the Georgia Quacker. Right, on the last year of Hee Haw. And so when he was in my backyard at the Fam Jam 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and he's doing dueling banjos
As a quack.
as the Quacker.
I wish we had a sound effect of that I could have brought, of him doing that.
Brian's got that on audio. You got that on tape, do you not, Brian? We get that recorded? And Brian's...
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, we recorded it. I think we recorded it 3 years ago. Or was it 2 years ago? 3 years.
3 years
ago.
ago. 3 years ago.
Him and I played here in 2013 together.
Okay. I think we got that on audio, so we'd have to dig that up and check it out. It was entertaining. The crowd loved it.
Well, every time I see him at Nashville Cowboy Church, he's got to do some quacking somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
in one of the songs.
Yeah. And a song.
And that's the first place I met him was at Nashville Cowboy Church. I never did get to share the stage with him the times that I did perform, but it was kind of neat to sit there and watch.
I have to say I did, but that's because I was giving him his microphone cord. Here you go, Harold. And you two are on stage together. I'm like, all right, you guys ready? I'm going to introduce you. That's the only way I got to share on there.
He's something, and Gerald and I, before I met Jamie, wife, Gerald called me. Well, we wrote about 3 years ago now. And, it's about like writing with Dave Gibson. I was nervous and everything. But the thing I'll never forget about Gerald, after we started on a song, we set up another date to co-write. Gerald calls me with song ideas, asking me what I thought. And I was like, this guy, wrote What Part of No Don't You Understand? And George Strait and George Johnson wants to know what I think on this song, which was very cool. And it made me feel good, and it made me feel validated. Big time, and I'll never forget that he would even, care what I thought on that song, and it was really awesome.
Now, we don't have a mic back there for his wife.
She's shy.
She's a shy one, so we're just going to kind of like holler back at her.
Hey, Jamie.
Growing up as Gerald's daughter, was it music in the family all the time, or was that just? Did you realize your dad was a hit singer-songwriter, or was that just something? It's just Dad. It was just Dad. Which is cool. I saw an interview with Julian Lennon Sean Lennon. Sorry, Sean Lennon, the one he had with Yoko. And Sean Lennon was being interviewed by the BBC, and they were sitting there talking, and they made the mistake about always wanting to talk about John and not about Sean, who had a new CD out. And Sean called him on the carpet, and they said, we're sorry. Because they said, what was it like, man, being with your dad? He's one of the Beatles, and he's John Lennon and stuff. He goes, dude, he was just Dad. I don't know him any other way as that's Dad.
Isn't that
I understand
something?
he was a Beatle, but he was Dad. So I thought that was kind of cool. You said the same thing.
amazing.
That's just Dad. So
It is something.
and we look at him totally different.
Oh, definitely.
When we had Georgette Jones talking, and we were talking, she's going, oh, well, Mama did this, Mama did that, Mama did this, and we had to stop her and going, now, when you say Mama, you're talking about Hall of Fame country legend Tammy Wynette. She goes, yeah. We're like, okay. And then she's talking, and Daddy did this, and Daddy did that. No, stop. Now, when you say Daddy, you're talking Hall of Fame country legend George Jones.
That's all.
And she goes, yeah. I'm like, that's it, huh? Okay.
That's all. Wow.
I got Mr. and Mrs. Harold Irish is my family. And they go, I'm sorry, who? What hit did they have? Ooh, I don't know. My dad hit my butt a few times. I think that was about
Good
it.
aim, right?
took me up about 6 inches off the ground, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's just cool. To her, it was just Mom and Dad.
It's amazing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. What got another song you'd like to play for us? We'll get the video up and running.
I am going to play. Actually, I'm going to go back-to-back ballad here. 'Cause,
A medley?
yeah. No, the second, because I did Angels a while ago. I don't know any medleys. Hey, you know, up in Gatlinburg, which was very cool, there was a guy, Mike Fisher was his name, and he's a Facebook friend now. Played the cool. He was doing a cover gig on one of the rooftop joints there, and I heard him sing. What was it? And it was Cheap Trick, and then he went into Kings of Leon, the Lose Somebody, a medley. And I told him that's the coolest medley combination I've ever heard. You know? I want you to want me. You know you gotta use somebody. He did it perfectly.
Cool.
You know. I wrote this. Chuck Oden and I wrote this with Stan Muncie and Stan's in the band Shenandoah, which is one of my favorite bands ever. Marty Raven's a big influence of mine as far as singing and songwriting. What a great guy. And it's called That Storm Left Everything. Thunder, lightning, howling wind and rain. I've seen angry skies take it all away. Should have seen, I should have known a storm was raging in her heart. When it hit, what it left behind tore my world apart. Left her keys, left her Bible by the bed on the nightstand with a note that says she's gone for good next to her wedding band. Every memory we ever made was left right there in its place. God knows, as strong as those winds were, that storm left everything but her. I slept through it all and never knew it could have passed through every single room. It never made a sound that shook those walls, but all the sounds when I woke up, that girl was gone. The proof was everywhere. Left her keys, left her Bible by the bed on the nightstand with a note that says she's gone for good next to her wedding band. Every memory we ever made was left right there in its place. God knows, as strong as those winds were, that storm left everything, everything but her. Left her keys, left her Bible by the bed on the nightstand with a note that says she's gone for good next to her wedding band. Every memory we ever made was left right there in its place. God knows, as strong as those winds were, that storm left everything but her. No damage could be seen. That storm left everything. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thanks.
That's one of the prettiest songs I've ever heard.
Thank you very much.
I don't know, that one earlier was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Absolutely phenomenal. That was a great song too, but I think my new favorite one was that one that you had just a little bit ago.
Well, thank you so much.
I'd like to be able to hear that again on the album itself, so we'll have to get the album. How can they get these songs? I mean, you got Sammy Kershaw's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have something on your Facebook or a website that said, hey, check out so-and-so's album, my song's on there? Or?
Well, Sammy has got his albums out everywhere, Amazon.com, iTunes. He sells it at his shows. We got it at Barnes & Noble. That was cool to walk in there. And actually, Jamie got pictures when I was buying the CD. Because it may never happen again, but we got to go in there and buy it. And Gerald actually got Jamie Creasy, his publisher, to get it at a show up in Pennsylvania, or I think it's Pennsylvania or West Virginia. The other night, Clinton Gregory was playing. But yeah, that one's already out. Steve is on Reverb Nation. You can get his CD there. Contact Steve Robertson.
Robertson, okay.
Yeah, Roberson.
Robertson.
And
No T.
No T. It's incorrectly pronounced Roberson a whole lot, but he don't mind it. Neither do I, because that means the DJ's playing it, but you can find that there. So just iTunes is a great place to find Sammy's record. It's also on Google Play too. I got a Samsung phone now, and everything's backwards in Google, so it's on Google Play.
That's cool.
So
cool. Now, do you have on your Facebook page where you're going to be at next, where you're performing?
Actually, tomorrow night I'm performing at the Maxwell House for Lou Askinase Writers Night with Kent Maxon, who wrote the U-Haul trailer song a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Aycock, who hosts a great show called the Off the Hook Comedy Show up there. It's for improvisational songwriting. I do that show, a lot, but whether I'm on it or not, you ought to go check it out sometime. They give, it's like Whose Line Is It Anyway as far as
Love
songwriters.
That show.
Oh, that would be neat.
Oh, yeah. They do it every week. I think the next one is September 12th at Douglas Corner. And they have different topics. Audience shouts out from the crowd. And you've got to write an instant song.
Huh.
I had to write one about socks and sandals one time, and I'll just leave it right there. If anybody wants to watch it, it's on the internet somewhere. It's on YouTube. The direction I went on that, I can't really say it.
Socks and sandals.
Yeah. And Steve Rempus, Steve and I host the Commercial Suicide Songwriting Podcast, cssongwritingpodcast.com. We're all playing around tomorrow night at the Maxwell House, 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
Right.
So come on out and hang out, and then I'm playing the round with Jason on the 17th, right?
Yes.
17th. Looking forward to that. We're going to take the time in between there to be moving and getting settled in and begin the Writers' Night here. And if anybody's listening wants to play the Tuesday night, Nashville Night Writers' Night, we're playing here. Oh yes, that's happening. That is happening. That is definitely happening. I'm on Facebook, Randy Finchum, and just get in touch with me any way you can, or call here. What's the phone number here they could call? I'm getting ready to start posting a flyer.
The phone number going through my head is that Jenny song right now.
867.
Yeah.
Hey, Jenny.
I wonder how many
It's a
times that number got
952
prank
number.
called. You know it?
Yeah. I can't remember our phone number here. That's sad. I'm
Why
on
don't
the
you give
spot.
them,
It's all
why don't
right.
you give them the other phone number?
It's Latin. No. Yeah, they don't. My phone number?
No. The one for the
The
music
Family
store.
Music Center? Well, they can call the Family Music Center if they'd like to. And that's 954-0727.
There's no sign
or,
for me to look at.
or you can, no sign to look at. 931 area code. And then they can also, you're giving me the number here? Oh, I thought someone was hollering the number for me. But it's a 931 area code that gets you the Family Music Center. And here at the Last Chance Saloon, we are in the phone book and on the internet. You can find us there. But that telephone number is 931
728 9206.
9206. And if you act now, we'll send you a second one absolutely free. And a Ginsu knife.
Right.
It cuts, it slices, it dices.
And since we're talking about this right now, let's go ahead and as far as the Midnight Madness show is concerned, if any listeners are interested in performing in the Midnight Madness show, feel free to get in touch with us as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to get booked in February.
Right.
Hey, February here before you know it. It was what 3 or 4 months you asked me to do this, and I'm thinking, oh, that's so far off.
Yeah.
It just
Jason's
creeps
got 'em
up.
booked out
We're
until
booked all the way to February
Awesome.
Yeah, so come on down. Yeah, you can contact us. We'll get you in contact with Jason so he can get the calendar up. But Jason, again, I'll toot his horn. We make fun of him a lot just because he's a sidekick. And, when you like someone like that, you always try to make fun of him a little bit. He takes it and he gives it back. But
I can feel the love between you four. I mean, you can't hide that.
It is
as
a
hard
close
as you
knit.
try, I can feel
Pure
it.
love, right?
it's like brothers
Amen.
and sisters. They fight like cats and dogs sometimes, but don't mess with the other one in front of one of them. You're dealing and you're battling with them. So, well, we might say that about 3 out of the 4 here, but one of them might not. But anyways, so we're tickled to death. Jason's worked really, really hard to get the show going on out until February is where he's starting to book at, and that's impressive. A lot of great lineup, a lot of great artists. We do need to get Gerald on the show, so maybe a hint to some family members in the building. We need to get Gerald on
I'll
the
call
show.
him now. I can call him on stage right now if you want me to.
So,
Yeah, go ahead. Call
but you
him
got to
I don't have my phone. I would.
And then,
You're on the radio right now.
we need to get Tommy Barnes on the show. I'd like to hear Tommy Barnes because I just want to, after getting Tommy off the radio show, just sit down here and go, all right, I just want to tell you, I just absolutely agree with everything you say on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have the time to write the stuff. He writes books, and if you had to respond to everything he says, I just don't have the time.
What we were talking about a minute ago, we're kind of blessed to be hanging around each other and everything. Tommy, when I first played Jesus Was a Rebel, was at Chuck Oden's Bamaroo Den in 2012, and Tommy commented on it, said he liked it. And here's this guy that's a big songwriter, wrote Indian Outlaw, and My Love for Little Texas, that likes it. That gave me a lot of confidence on that song.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we can all do for each other, is encourage each other and push each other in this journey to keep on going, because it's going to be up and down. Even for those who got all the hits on the radio and everything, I'm sure they hear a bunch of no's. And without us supporting each other, it's going to be a rough road, and to have us, to have us here and everywhere to support each other was awesome. Just like it was when Tommy said he liked Jesus Was a Rebel, and that really gave me a lot of confidence on that song.
Yep. Good bunch of people. Well, we have time for one more song, I would believe. Why don't we? Any last-minute questions from the panel? I sound like, what was that show? Watch My Line, or What's My Line?
What's my line?
What's my line? Anything from the panel? Kitty Carlisle, what do you have?
She's busy talking.
You can tell I'm way too old.
This was awesome, and thanks for having me back. I hope I didn't jump around too much. Some people out in the audience tonight would say I have something called ADD. I've never heard of it. I would say I don't, but I hope that I didn't jump around too much. Thanks for having me back. I love what you guys are doing here. I cannot wait to be around you all freaking morning, that you probably go get tired of me.
We can't wait. We can't wait. We're really looking forward to your show coming up
Thank you.
2 weeks from tonight. Nashville Nights is going to be called. We're trying to make you a nice backdrop up here for the pictures. So we're going to try to have that. Hopefully we'll have that up by that first night, and then start promoting on Facebook. So check out Randy Finchum's page. You can check out the Family Music Center. You can check out WFOC Jam's page. You can check out our own personal, The Last Chance Saloon's page. It's going to be pretty heavily pushed out there. We asked you to come down for the Midnight Madness show as well as Randy's show, Nashville Nights. Come down, check out the music. You're cheating yourself and selling yourself short if you don't get to come down here and see some of this great entertainment that's coming down here.
Yes.
And the price is right.
Right.
There's no cover charge. It's free.
And the thing is, you've got hit songwriters coming through the door, not just people like me, but as well as the people like me. But we do have some good lineup coming our way.
We have a great bunch of people. And again, Randy, all you got to do is say, Randy's a nice guy. Excellent singer-songwriter. He's a nicer guy than he is a singer-songwriter. And he's got 28 hits to prove how cool of a singer-songwriter he is, and he's a nicer guy than that. So you get a chance to meet these people. And he has better hair than you do.
No, actually, I probably got the same hair that you do.
No.
I'm catching up with you quickly now. Yeah. I'm getting smarter every day, getting more brains.
Does your wife help you write?
Does she help me? Oh, gosh, no. She's not. Does she help me write? That was a question, Jamie. No, she does not. She's a hair band fan like me. That's why I fell in love with her, because she knew all them, the facts about all the hair bands.
Now,
And
did she ever criticize you?
did she ever criticize me? No.
Critique.
She thinks
Critique
I'm
is a good word.
absolutely perfect and never says anything else. Hey, and I get a little too high on myself. She'll have me go clean litter boxes. All right, Mr. Genius, get in here, get the scoop and clean out the litter box. That brings me down to earth very quick. But no, she's very supportive in this, being around it her whole life, and and get to hear my ups and downs in this, on top of the world and in the dumps, and the yes, the no's, the maybes, and the I can do anything to I'll never be able to do it again. Back and forth. It sure is a trip living with a musician. I think all the wives could. I see that look on Cynthia's face. It's on Jamie's.
Yeah.
As I say this.
They both are looking, going, will it ever just stop?
That's why I'm still single.
Yeah. Now she will tell me if she doesn't like a particular song, and she will tell me if she did, and I appreciate that. I appreciate.
Usually, when my ex-wife told me she didn't like something, that gave me more of a reason to write it.
Oh, well, see, I haven't got to that point yet now. Because she scares me, and if I get to that point, I can't get that far. But Jamie's really good, and she will tell me if she doesn't like something, and I appreciate that. Bible says the honest answer is like a kiss on the lips, and gosh, I've heard a lot of honest answers on Music Row that were like a punch in the face. But I'm going to close out with this one. Late 2005, I was down at the funeral home in Winchester. My Aunt Sharon had passed away. And I saw my cousin Stacy and my cousin Kevin. We were talking, we got to get together. And, gosh, it's still hard to tell a story. And, of course, we did what we did at all family functions. We say we're going to get together. 6 weeks later, my cousin Stacy dies unexpectedly. 6 weeks after his mother died. So I'm riding down there for the funeral. It was a warm December day. It was December, but it kind of looked like a spring day. And I wrote this one. Joseph Mabalot wrote the melody to it. He just given me 2 days before, and I ride down there to Stacy's funeral in Deckard. I wrote this one, and it's called Between Those Two Doors. It's a warm December day. I've been down this road before. Time to go back home and say goodbye once more. Another good friend of mine has seen his last day. Past the hospital where I was born, just a half a mile from that funeral home. And then in there it dawned on me as I drove along, that hospital's the front door, funeral home's the back. One we come into and one we go out when the good Lord calls us and it's our time to go. And life is all those rooms in between of a house where we're supposed to find out what it means to really love. Then we'll know what we're here for. And we only have a short time between those two doors. some friends and family that I ain't seen for years. Then I walked into that funeral home, felt a wave of sorrow, remembering all the times I said I'd come see him tomorrow. That hospital's the front door, funeral home is the back. One we come into and one we go out. When the good Lord calls us, and it's our time to go. And life is all those rooms in between of a house where we're supposed to find out what it means to really love. Then we'll know what we're here for. We only have a short time, such a very, very short time. We only have a short time between those two doors. Between those two doors. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Randy Finchum, everybody. Randy, we want to thank you for being a part of our musical family and a part of
Thank
our
you.
personal families. It's just always a pleasure to have you around. We're glad you're moving to Coffee County. We get to
Yes.
see you more and get to pick on you some more. And
Hey, I know I'm interrupting. I know I say I do it. I say it. I know I say it all the time, but I want to do it one more time. Thank you so much for what you do, you and Cynthia and everybody here. What a cool scene developing in my hometown. I just love it. It seems to grow and grow every year, and I'm glad to be have a part of it.
well, we're glad you're a
Thank
part
you.
of it. We're glad you're a part of it. We can't wait for 2 weeks from tonight when Randy comes out and does the Nashville Nights here at the Last Chance Saloon each and every week. Starting immediately after the Midnight Madness show gets over with, we'll probably go back on air for a few minutes while Randy gets the things set up, and then we'll go back live. So, and again, we want to thank Brian, who's in Pulaski running the show.
Thank you, Brian.
We want to thank you, Brian, for all the hard work you do. Brian is working hard at the Commodore Grill each and every Sunday up there with Debbie Champion's Songwriters Night, and she does a great job up there promoting all the songwriters. And Randy's part of that group that goes in and up there. So we're glad to get to be part of that. And so Brian makes it sound great each and every week from there. And then Brian has little things. Brian, are you still doing anything with that Muscle Shoals thing going on?
Actually, that you mentioned, I don't know if anybody can hear me on the air, but we do have the Shoals Area Music is doing a September showcase on September 4th. That's Friday. They're going to have bands, so groups there, the Palm and the Cypress, River Tribe, Bad Ethel, and Audio Vision.
Oh, wow.
Event starts at 7 p.m.
I think that is also being aired on talk radio. I heard something about that today on talk radio. I don't know what channel it is here in Manchester. It's like 99.6 or 7 on talk radio. And they were talking about the Muscle Shoals thing coming up this weekend. It runs 4 hours, doesn't it, Brian?
I think so. There's 4 groups, so probably at least 4 hours.
Yeah, because they were talking about it's going to go 4 hours live, but only 2 hours are going to be aired on their show. And you're going to be down there and doing all 4 hours?
Yeah, we're airing the entire thing, and we're going to try to video it too, and we'll hopefully have that up on our YouTube page.
Awesome.
As well.
That's awesome. So that'll be this coming Friday then. So make sure you tune in to WFNCJams.com. 7 o'clock, is that about what time is going on, Brian?
Yes, 7 p.m. at the Singing River Brewery.
Okay, awesome. So check that out, and then don't forget to check out up there at the Commodore on the West End, Debbie Champion's Songwriter Night. And then next week, Jason, tell us who's coming up next week's artist.
Our next week's guest is Freddie Snell.
Okay, excellent. He was here when
John Hurt.
John Hurt was here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes, we are. Also, I can't talk today for some reason.
You got the hiccups or something.
Yeah, something. Keep your eyes and ears open for our Legends of Storyteller shows. We're hoping we're going to start airing those soon. We can start getting those edited down, and we have 2 more shows booked to go record.
I can't wait.
One with Buzzy Orange and one with Leona Williams. They should both be very good.
Awesome.
I'm assuming.
I can't wait for those episodes, and then we need to get them edited down and get them on our YouTube page. Again, for those who don't know what that is, the Legends of Storytellers. It's kind of like audio, and we're actually videotaping it, so it's audio, video, music history. And we're not a tabloid paper, so I don't want to hear about so-and-so did this and that and all the groupies and stuff. We want to hear how music changed people's lives, and you know, hearing stuff by Joanne Cash and her music career and what she's done. And she highlighted some of John and hers getting together, times when she spent with Elvis Presley. Just the cool stuff like that. Johnny Moore, hanging out with just name a country legend from back in the 50s, and Johnny's hung with them all. And just to hear the story about him and how him and Jim Reeves did this, and him and Johnny Horton did that, him and Ferlin Husky did this, and him and Slim Whitman did that. And the articles and the pictures and stuff, that's all on video that we captured, and Brian did a good job capturing the video. We're going to edit that down, and we're going to put that on the YouTube page. But we got Buzzy Orange coming up this Sunday, I believe, that we're going to be doing the show there. And then Leona, is she next week after that?
Well,
or
Leona is in October.
Oh, October.
It's the Saturday before her show with us here.
Okay. And yeah, so she's actually appearing on the radio station here too. But just a bunch of good musical stuff. I don't know, Randy, maybe it's just me, but I know like a lot of artists will get calls up going, man, that was cool to hear Randy talk about his life or whatever. I hear so-and-so talk about his life or whatever. It's just cool that musicians get really into the weird history part of music, you know, and chances. Big Mike Griffin is going to be part of that too, and we got to get a date to meet with him. But Big Mike Griffin will tell you stories from Muscle Shoals where mistakes on audio tape became #1 hits.
Wow.
And he'll tell you how it happened.
I love that stuff.
That's the stuff I really, really like. It's just really, really crazy that you hear that. The very beginning of old-time rock and roll by Bob Seger is a mistake. And he'll tell you about it. It's really cool how it all happened.
Very cool.
And play it, yeah. We'll get that. You'll do some Freebird next. So, came from the same building, technically, in Muscle Shoals. You know, came from the same building. But, yeah, and Brian's got the new website all done up there as he's scrolling through. We got beautiful. That is a great picture of Ashley from Sugarline Blue with the thorn bush.
Yes.
But you can go on there and check it out. Yeah, we got our high-quality AT&T Uverse. You know, that I love AT&T Uverse.
At least we're still alive.
Yeah, at least we're still alive. Yeah, it's crazy, but Brian's reworked the website, so all the pictures, and then Rebecca, you're uploading the video to Jason's page first.
I'm uploading them, yeah.
Okay, so and how can we find video of Randy tonight?
Well, it's going to take me about a week to get them up, unless we can get Uverse, you know.
I know. Yeah, we'll get Uverse running up here. Uverse is up, but it's not working 100%.
I should have some videos up by next week, at least one for Randy.
Okay.
I try to get them up as quickly as I can. I'm behind. I did finally get the very last one of Heather Stevenson up, and she was our first artist when I came back.
Nice. So we'll see about 2019 on the YouTube page.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Well, excellent. Well, unless we have anything from the panel up here, Kitty Carlisle, Super Sales, you're all good?
Kitty Carlisle?
That's what I was saying, the What's My Line thing. Did you ever see that? You've never seen the old. Larry knows what I'm talking about.
That's before my time.
I can't remember who the other guy was on there. You had Kitty Carlisle, Super Sales.
You're talking Howdy Doody next, I'm assuming.
Pretty close. Yeah, it was wild. Back when George Carlin was like 18 years old, he was on the show.
Wow.
That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
George had short hair, and he never said a swear word.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a baby
What back
still.
when the dinosaurs were around?
Yeah, it was the dinosaur era. It was the Platonic age, I think is what it was. Something like that.
Hollywood Argyles put out your hits.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, with that, well, Randy, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much. And it's not luck that's what does this. We know that, but it just seems to be a cliche we all use. We just love what you do. Keep doing it. Keep the hard work up. any support, obviously, we can do, we'll try to be there the best we can for you. But the way this thing works is people go out and buy the Sammy Kershaw records. Go out, buy the Steve Robertson records. Now, you got me saying it. Got Steve Right. Thanks, Brian.
Roberson.
He's used to it. If Steve's out there listening, he's used to Roberson. So
There's the next blooper on the videotape that Ryan's going to have.
thank you so much, man.
With that,
We have to
Randy,
do that
we
again.
appreciate it. And, yeah, we got to get the next, the bloopers, live and unplugged, the screw-ups.
Yes, we have to do that again.
We
The
laugh
first
so
one was
hard.
fun. We laughed so hard.
Every
ourselves.
show's a blooper.
And I know we have a blooper every show, but we didn't get the best one on there yet, which was one from Uncle Lair way back with Edwina Hayes.
Ed Wiener Hayes.
Ed Wiener.
Hey, she's absolutely a lovely lady. Absolutely.
Have you talked to her since then?
No.
Yeah. I wonder why. You called her Ed Wiener. No, Edwina Hayes, yeah. Very
I just didn't
talented
want
artist.
you guys to make fun of my Yankee accent.
Well, I'm Yankee with you, brother. All right. With that, let's just sign off the show. Again, Randy, thank you so much. Be safe
Thank you.
heading back to home, which is in now Coffee County.
Yes.
Or we'll soon be Coffee
It
County.
will be, yes. It's very soon.
So we appreciate it. And with that, I am Mark, the DJ Doctor, signing off for the Hillbilly Heartthrob, Uncle Larry, and Velvet Presley, and the IT Guru in Pulaski. Until next week, good night.
Good night.